Okay, let's do this. She hasn't graded it yet. Take her forever to grade. Maybe she'll finish grading it at night. Okay, good evening. I'm from the Ivory Coast, Harav. Hello, Bobby. I'm doing good. The Ivory Coast is located in Southwest Africa, Harav. My name is William Manket, Bobby. Are you from India? JD Vance's wife, JD Vance's wife parents are from India. And his wife got the Indian nationality. Hold on 1 second. So, okay. Okay, so there's a post from, would I like to come to India in the future? Probably not. I have. I mean, country I've been in is France, and I've been to I visited Ghana once when I was in a summer camp in 2012 in Ivory Coast. Why? Because I'm not familiar with India. I have. I mean, let's look up India. India 2026. I am not really familiar with the country. Oh, bye? Okay, bye. Okay. So, let's see. Why is this girl so far? I don't know who you're talking about. Dolo got that. I don't know who you're referring to. Who are you referring to? Are you talking about me? Okay, whatever. Okay. So there's a post on X that there's like a X account that goes by American values. Um, he asked the question, would will they try to run in 2028? Will they try to run in 2028? So Thomas Massie will be president and Marjorie Taylor Greene will be vice president. So here, Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene. I will say the inverse. Marjorie Taylor Greene for president and Thomas Massie for vice president. So that way, the United States gets a woman in the White House. Do I have Minecraft? No, I do not have Minecraft. And I don't think I will really enjoy Minecraft. Sarah Lassis. I don't think I will enjoy Minecraft. No, I do not have Roblox. I enjoy more martial art game and race game. I got Ninja Storm Batman and I play Ninja Storm Batman a short hate on my computer. And then I have Raging Blast 2. And then I have Call of Duty, which doesn't really work that well. Call of Duty MW3. That's the game I have. No, I'm not really interested in Minecraft. Sarah lies. I mean, it costs $100 now. No, thank you. Can I speak Brazilian? No, I can speak French, but I became comfortable with the English language since I lived in the United States for like 14 years. I've been more comfortable with the English language, but I can hold my own. You're Brazilian. Oh, okay. Brazil got eliminated by Norway, like in the World Cup 2026. Erling Haaland scored like 2 goals to put Norway's in front, and then Norway lost against England in the quarterfinals. Okay, I haven't paid. Whatever. Okay, now. Okay. Waiting for my instructor to grade this assignment. Okay. So 6 hours ago, Ted Cruz tweeted, Iowa decide control of the U.S. Senate. Democrats have put a bull eye in this race. They are spending millions to flip it blue. I don't think Democrats are going to flip Iowa blue. No, thank you. Sarah lies.
Running for Senate, I'm here in Iowa with my friend, running for Senate in one of the most closely contested Senate races in the country. Ashley is going to make a fantastic senator, but the Democrats have put a bullseye on Iowa. They want to flip
Bullseye.
Iowa blue. This race could very well decide control of the U.S. Senate, could make, if we lost this race, it could make Chuck Schumer the majority leader of the U.S. Senate. We cannot let that happen. Ashley is going to be a fantastic senator. I'm here.
So this is Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz. Okay. I would not be interested in Minecraft Sarah Lysis. I would be more interested in playing the cold-hearted DLC for Batman Arkham City and doing Catwoman story mode in Batman. No, no, no. I'll retract what I have to say. I would be more interested on playing the cold-hearted DLC in Batman Arkham Origin and Catwoman story mode in Batman Arkham City, which only costs a combined $18. You don't understand much English? Okay, then it's whatever. So, Kamala Harris is reportedly preparing. Okay, thank you for subscribing. But you will probably unsubscribe, Sarah Lise. You will probably unsubscribe after the stream ends because people usually end up unsubscribing. But thank you for subscribing. So, Justin Kamala Harris is reportedly preparing to run for president again in 2028. So this is like a post from Remarks. If she runs in 2028, she will not even get the nomination. If the Democrat runs a fair primary in 2028, she will not get the nomination. Okay. Okay. So, So there's the account user that goes by Bren. He said this whole back and forth between Ben and Candace is just pure entertainment. It's funny because you can tell Ben doesn't care. He's totally unfazed. She could scream insult at him for hours and it'll be like, cool story. Candace, on the other hand, treat a mild glance like a declaration of war. So here.
But the person that Ben was with has allegedly told various other people that he was with Ben when Charlie Kirk was shot. And that person is a man named Gary Javich. So Gary Javich is not a person that you have likely ever heard of unless you are Jewish and involved in the community. But he is certainly very well known, actually very powerful.
Who? If it was Gary Javich who called us in to pick up a $10,000 reward from Candace Owens, then Candace, I'm sorry to inform you, you have been scammed. In fact, every time Candace issues a guess as to who I was lunching with and is wrong, I'm going to donate 10 grand toward the education of Charlie Kirk's children. So now I owe go send me 10 grand. I have a feeling by the end of this, she's going to impoverish me.
But the person that Ben...
I mean, who cares who Ben Shapiro had dinner with? I mean, it's whatever. Oh, your name is Angel. Okay, so I'll call you Angel. So hello, Angel. Hello, Joel Durf. No channel? I don't know what you mean by no channel. You're watching me live. So you're saying you're from Belgium? Okay. You're saying you don't have a channel? Okay, let's see. Okay. $35, $86, let's see. Okay, I see. So you said no channel is your name now. So you say no channel is your name now? Little angel in Portuguese. Okay, I don't know what you mean. Okay. So Mila Joe said Charlie Kirk was so profound. When Charlie died, he left a huge hole in the GOP.
That's a separate issue. His team knows what they're doing. What the Democrats are doing is a deliberate plan of destruction against the United States of America. This is not that Joe Biden does not, well, he doesn't really know where he is. I mean, but that's a separate issue. His team knows what they're doing. They hate the country. They have bitterness for this republic, and they are making intentional steps to ruin it. In the 1970s, there were two Marxist communist political philosophers, Cloward Piven, who wrote a document saying that we are going to turn America into a communist country by doing three things. We will destroy the US dollar by printing trillions of dollars we do not have. We will build a deep state of government agents that will go after everyday citizens and that will absorb that sector. And we will open up the southern border.
Okay, you know what? Doesn't matter.
Championships, but about, and I'm more proud. of the fact that not about the championships, but about the down years. Because we didn't run. We didn't run. We played through all that stuff. And we got our championships, and we did it the right way.
Okay, this doesn't matter. Okay, so Benjamin Netanyahu was at Fox News, and he was interviewed by Maria Barteromo. So Prime Minister Netanyahu fires back at New York City Mayor Mamdani. So Benjamin Netanyahu had a response to Mamdani speech about him. And then he said he's fomenting hate. He's supposed to be the mayor of all New Yorkers. After Mamdani called him a war criminal and said he was not welcome in New York, Netanyahu accused the mayor of turning groups against each other and spreading fear. Netanyahu said he still plans to attend the UN General Assembly and speak for Israel from the UN podium. So that's it.
He's fomenting hate. He's supposed to be the mayor of all New Yorkers, Jews, Christians, Muslims, everyone. But he's trying to turn one group against the other, and he's foisting hate and fear. I speak to Jewish Americans in New York, and they're afraid right now. And I don't think it's accidental that after he made this hate speech against Israel and against me, the next day, a Jew is stabbed coming out of a synagogue. I think, and with a cry of Allah is Akbar, Allah Akbar. And you know what that means. So I think that it's shameful. This thing is very bad for New York. I think it's very bad for peace. But the answer to your question, I intend to come and speak the truth, speak for Israel and for the Israeli-American alliance from the podium of the United Nations. He's fomenting hate. He's supposed to be the mayor of all New Yorkers.
So this is a quote from their interview. I mean, what I will say is American citizens in general have more sympathy for Palestinian children than Israeli individual, whether it's children or adults. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's see.
They were implemented, and I don't mean that in the personal sense of not ready. I meant it more in the sense of the policies that he wanted to implement, or the way that they were implemented, or the governance obstacles more than the competence conversation.
Yo, I'm not talking about competence.
Oh.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm not talking about competence at
Right.
all. No, I believe he was fully competent to serve.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
That surprises me, actually.
No, I do. But there's a distinction to be made between running for president and being president.
What's the distinction?
Well, being a candidate for president of the United States is about.
So this is like a whole clip of an interview of. This is a whole clip of Jon Stewart interviewing Kamala Harris about Joe Biden's competency to be president. Okay. Okay.
Full All-Stars, a Finals MVP, and a regular season MVP. Let's call it what it is. He just wants another easy ring. People constantly compare him to Michael Jordan, but he hasn't even surpassed the legends of his own era. He's got the same 4 rings as Steph Curry, and 1 less than Tim Duncan and Kobe Bean Bryant. And the difference is, those guys didn't hop from team to team chasing championships. This completely destroys his case in the GOAT debate. Period. How can you look me in the eye and call yourself the GOAT when you keep playing on easy mode? MJ endured the beatings in Chicago until he conquered the Pistons. Kobe rebuilt in LA and won back-to-back titles without begging for help. They earned their stripes with 1 franchise. But LeBron keeps hitting the panic button and assembling Avengers rosters whenever things get tough. Why did
I mean, so that's a good point from Stephen A. Smith. And Michael Jordan did more with less. I don't think I was not born in the 90s I was not born in the 90s and I never saw Jordan play. But what I will say is I don't think Scottie Pippen will be in the Hall of Fame if it's not for Michael Jordan. If Scottie Pippen was not traded to the Chicago Bulls and if he was not traded to the Chicago Bulls and he never played with Michael Jordan, I don't think he would have been an Hall of Famer. Just like Horace Grant, who is not an Hall of Famer and will not make the Hall of Fame. Multiple women start shaking uncontrollably after. So this is a tweet from outspoken Samantha. She said, multiple women start shaking uncontrollably after meeting Apostle Catherine Crick, an accused cult leader from Los Angeles. The incident happened at a book signing event in South Carolina. This is not the first time a supporter has had this sort of reaction around Crick. This is not Christianity. This is not how the Holy Spirit works. Okay, so let's see.
These are apparently people's reactions to meeting Apostle Catherine Crick. And I have an opinion about it. You may not like it, but it's my opinion. This is not Christianity, and this is not the Holy Spirit. Yes, the Spirit is real, and yes, it is powerful. But it generally comes on in a warm feeling throughout your body and soul. It can touch your heart. And yes, it can even give you the power and the strength to do things that you normally wouldn't do. But those things always have a purpose in serving God, whether it be doing something for your friend or your neighbor or being in tune with somebody in some way that's going to help them. What these people are doing has no purpose whatsoever. God is not going to cause people to have convulsions for the sake of having convulsions. To me, this demonstrates more of a worship and an idolization of Apostle Catherine Crick than it does a true understanding and relationship with God. They view her as a celebrity and an idol, not somebody who is truly serving our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. This is blasphemy, plain and simple. Now, I think that these people actually do want a relationship with God. I think they're just looking for it in the wrong place. At worst, they are being touched by a spirit, just not the Holy One.
Okay. Okay. She hasn't even graded. Why is she taking forever to grade? Oh, I wish I could just grade this assignment quickly. That could be, yeah. But it's whatever. Okay. So Tom Powell Junior tweeted 26 minutes ago, if you cannot tell that Donald Trump is a con man, you're the mark. Okay. I'll say he's a magician. 2016 made him a magician. In spite of the fact that Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by 3 million, Trump easily defeated her in the Electoral College, narrowly winning the blue wall state, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Florida. Ah. Honestly, I think people who wear MAGA hat, they look corny. MAGA hats are not even that cool of a hat.
Talk to you about this because my friends asked me like, "Hey, who are you voting for?" And I was like, "Trump." You know, like no big deal. You know, didn't think it was gonna cause anything. You would have thought that I told them I killed their puppies. Yeah. My friends literally lost their minds. They didn't want to be friends with me anymore. Yeah, they called me racist, which is crazy because I mean it's insane. It's what it is their go-to. So at that point, I had just had a baby, so I was a little more emotional. I got 2 girls. Yeah. So I just had a baby, and so I had no one to talk to about this because I in my mind, the media stole my friends from me. That's literally how I felt.
Trump has always been a racist, right? When you back a racist, you are enabling and aligning yourself with racism. Just because someone happens to have a darker skin color, racism's an ideology. It's not bound by your identity politics. Trump's stance on the Central Park 5, him not wanting to rent out apartment units to black people, like the list goes on. And those are only things like that he did.
Okay, doesn't matter. Okay. 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 Honestly, whatever. So,
in the era of politics where fascism is on the rise, where people are, but right now we are in the era of politics where fascism is on the rise, where people are literally being murdered in the streets of American cities, where concentration camps exist on American soil. You have got to stop being shocked that friends are walking away from you because you support that. And if you're telling me that you don't understand why somebody would have a problem with you from a morality standpoint based on who you voted for, then you're not paying attention to what's going on in the world. All you give a shit about is the merch and the gear and making sure that you're on the winning team. It's time to open your fucking eyes and see what's going on. If your friends all walked away from you over this, there's a fucking reason.
okay. Okay. Not yet. Fascism. Okay. So, there has been report that Trump approval rating is low. So let's see. What is Trump approval rating? Okay, so the silver bulletin. So Donald Trump approval rating has improved somewhat over the last few weeks. It hit a second term low of negative 20.2 back in May. But today Trump net approval rating is up to negative 12.4. Is he still less popular than he was at the point in his first term? Yes. But Trump is actually slightly more popular than Joe Biden was at the equivalent point. Negative 19.2 net approval versus negative 17.4 in his term. So this is an article from Nate Silver. But let's see. So let's see CNN. Okay, so CNN. So there's like a video from one of the CNN.
Democrats lose.
If them lose to Trump during the midterm, this is why. So here.
to Trump yet again. These are all the red flags. Democrats, you have only about 100 days until the midterm elections, and you don't have control of either chamber anywhere close to being locked up. What are we talking about here? Well, we're talking, first off, we're talking about cash on hand. We're talking about cash on hand. You know, Democrats, they're much more like this. They're your $1 bills. While Republicans, you're much more like this, your 50s, and dare I say, even your $100 bills. Because just take a look here. Cash on hand from the main outside groups, ergo your congressional committees, right, your NRSC. Take a look here. Republicans at this point, 657.
Dang. 657 million cash on hand, main outside group party committee. So the Republican Party are outraising the Democratic Party. So here, 657 million to 334 million. Wow.
$1 million. My goodness gracious, that's why I'm talking about these bills, right? $100 bills. While the Democrats, only about $334 million, only about half the level of Republicans. And of course, cash is what makes the world go round in politics. Now, you think that these numbers are bad? How about the national committees themselves? The RNC, the DNC, Republican National Committee, Democratic National Committee. Look at this. Cash they have, June 2026. The RNC, $129 million. That's pretty gosh darn good, right? But get this, the Democrats, on a rarity, the DNC is red on your screen. Why are they red? Because they're literally in the red, way down there. They're actually in negative territory. That's cash on hand subtracted by the party debt. The party debt actually is greater than the cash on hand. The Democratic National Committee, it's broke. It's basically broke. And why is this? What is going on here? And it is because Democratic enthusiasm for the Washington establishment, it is way down there underwater, under the Potomac River. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, hello, approve of their own party in Congress. We're talking about a new Tea Party here. You know, back in July of 2010, when Republicans really did not like their congressional leadership, right? Really didn't like it. Still, 52%. 52% of Republicans approved of their own party in Congress.
Dang, 52% of Republicans approve to their own party in Congress. Wow.
Look at where Democrats are now. They are in a worse position, the Democrats in Congress, than Republicans were during their Tea Party wave of 2010. Now Democrats, they can't even reach the 50% mark. And we're talking within their own party. I mean, my goodness gracious. And of course, this to me is part of a larger problem
My goodness
Democrats
gracious.
have when it comes to their own popularity. You know what it is? It's way down there underwater. Take a look at this. Okay, the Democratic Party net favorability. Back in 2018, when Democrats were able to take control of the House, they were actually on the plus side of the ledger. They were actually in positive territory at plus 1 point. Look now in 2026. We're not just talking down there underneath the Potomac. We're talking down there with the Titanic. We're talking 24 points underwater. And this is just the party overall. This isn't the congressional leadership. This is the party. The party. It's just a terrible, terrible, terrible brand. Terrible. I want to almost get my Charles Barkley. Terrible, terrible. I can't even do it, Charles Barkley. But the bottom line is it's absolutely terrible. Now, what if...
So Democrat net favorability rating is negative 24, but in 2026, but in 2018 it was plus 1.
Is the reasons? Why is the Democratic brand so terrible? Well, one reason why the Democratic brand is so terrible at this point in the voters' minds is, take a look at this trend line. Voters saying that Democrats are too liberal. In 1996, it was 42%. In 2013, it was 58%. Now, the clear majority of Americans believe, and the clear majority of voters say that the Democratic Party is too liberal.
Yes, the Democrat Party are too liberal because they are consumed by the far left. They are consumed by the extreme part of the Democratic Party, the radical left.
87%. They think that the Democratic Party is out of the mainstream, out of the frame, I dare say. My God, this is a massive, massive problem. And you know what is fueling that? You know what's only adding fuel to the fire? How about the Democratic Socialists of America? You know, I mentioned a new Tea Party. Net favorable opinion of the Tea Party back in June of 2010 versus the Democratic Socialists of America, the DSA, right now. Remember, the Tea Party
Democratic Socialists of America.
helped keep Democrats control of the United States Senate back in 2010 because Republicans ran all these candidates that were just seen out of the mainstream, right? Christine O'Donnell in Delaware. How about Ken Buck in Colorado? How about Sharon Angle, who did the impossible in Nevada and helped get Harry Reid another term in the United States Senate? Well, their net favorable rating back in June of 2010, 13 points underwater. Not too hot to trot. Not too hot to trot. But not absolutely terrible. Compared to the DSA now, 25 points underwater.
So the net favorability. So Harry Hilton, I think that's what his name is. Harry Hilton. So the Tea Party Democrats net favorability rating in June 2010 was no, they had a negative 13 net favorability rating. Now they have the Democrat Socialists of America have a net favorability rating negative 25. So here. Wow.
Twice as unpopular as the Tea Party was back in June of 2010. Now,
So they're more unpopular now than they were in 2010.
This out a little bit. Let's talk about what we're talking about. What are the effects of this? How could this play out? Well, how about this? How about House candidates' money raised? You know, it's not as bad for Democrats in the House as it is for their party committees, but still, they're in a worse position now in terms of the percentage of cash that's been raised by Democrats versus Republicans. We're talking about they get 55% of the cash raised. That is down from the 61%. So even though Democrats are ahead in the cash...
Yeah, so the money raised between Dems and GOP, in 2018, it was 61% Dem and 38% Republican. Now in 2026, it's 55% Dem and 44% Republican. Okay. So Democrats are up by 9 points. But you compare that to 2018, they were up by 30 points when it comes to money raised for candidates.
Cash raise for the House candidates, they are in a worse position than they were back in 2018 when they took back the House. Now, this to me is part of what we're seeing in the overall House picture, right? The playing field is smaller for Democrats. House seats at least leaning towards the GOP according to the Cook Political Report. This is the Trump midterms. Back in July of 2018, it was 206 seats at this point that were leaning towards the GOP, at least leaning. Now, it's 212 in a race to 218. Republicans are nearly to that 218 marker. Now, I'm not saying they're going to get there, but they're much closer than they were at this point in the 2018 cycle. Now, this is, again, part of a larger trend that we're seeing. National trend lines. Democrats lead on the generic ballot. Again, midterms with the Republican president. In 2006, Democrats were up by 10 points. They took back the House. In 2018, they were up by 8 points, very similar to 10. Now that lead is on one hand. It's just 5. It's just 5 points. Now, why?
Woo. Look at this. So in 2006, Democrat lead on generic ballot, midterm years with GOP, with a Republican president. So they were up by 10 points. In 2018, they were up by 8 points. In 2026, they are only up by 5 points. Wow.
is this 5 points so important? Because Republicans have helped make it so important. How? Through the redistricting efforts. The redistricting efforts, which means so much. Okay, Democrats in the National House vote margin, their current poll lead nationally is 5. How much do they need to win back the U.S. House of Representatives? Well, with redistricting, we're talking about 3 to 4. Democrats are right on the margin. Republicans have made them right on the margin. So the...
Dang. Democrat and National House vote margin in percentage points. So current poll lead, they're up by 5 points. Needed to win with redistricting. They're up 3 to 4 points. Wow.
The race for the House is not anywhere close to being cinched up for the Democrats. Now, you might notice, I've been saying a lot in a lot of period of time. I'm a little, woo! So today, to quench my thirst, oh yeah, I got myself a Canada Dry, 0 sugar, cherry fruit splash. All right, let's have
Canada Dry, okay. That is made in Canada.
I love cherry. Okay, it's a march to the finish here. It's a march to the finish here. We're nearly done. All right, we've talked about the House, but perhaps the biggest problem for Republicans, or excuse me, for Democrats, is in the race for Senate control. In the race for Senate control. Okay, so let's just talk about the math that is needed here.
I think Republicans will keep the Senate. They will keep the Senate. The House, the Democrat might win.
Math that's needed. States Dems need to win the Senate. They need a total net gain of 4 seats. They need a total net gain of 4 seats. Well, 3 of these seats they'll have to pick up are in states that Trump won. Trump won back in 2024. And I'll note the one blue state is Maine. And let's be real, at this point, that is very TBD, given all the Graham Plattner stuff and then having to bring in a new Democratic candidate. That is very TBD. So even that blue state, not anywhere close to being cinched. Now, we're talking about those red states, right? And only one of those states was won by Trump by a small margin. That was North Carolina, +3 in terms of the pickup opportunities. The rest, Ohio, Alaska, Iowa, Texas, all won by Trump by double digits. We're talking really, really a lot of states that are on the board that are really red-leaning. That's what's going on here. And you know what? We can go back through history. We can go.
So North Carolina, Trump only won North Carolina by 3 points, but he won Ohio by 11, Alaska by 13, Iowa by 13, and Texas by 14. Okay.
Go back to the last Trump midterm election and think, okay, did they pick up any states like this? Well, no, not really. Talk about the 2018 red state Dem pickups. There's just a single one.
So, red state Dem pickup. They only pick up Arizona. Okay.
Just a single numero uno. Just one, baby. Just one. That was Arizona. And Trump won that state by just 4 points. Much more like a North Carolina, right? And Kristen Sinema, the Democrat, she was then a Democrat, she only won it by 2.
So Sinema won Arizona only by 2 points. Okay.
So there's no real history of this going on here. Now, if we're talking just generally speaking, you can see this here. Again, in the 6 key states that we're looking at, the generic ballot lead for the Republicans +6. Again, 53% of Democrats 53% of the voters in those key swing states say that the Democratic Party is too far to the left. So the Senate...
Yes, the Democrat needs to stop going too far to the left.
Senate battleground, much more even extreme than what we see nationally. Finally, I'll just note in terms of the prediction markets at this point, which kind of brings it all together, the chance to win the Senate, You know, back in April 24th, it was about a 50-50 shot. By July 24th, look at that.
So Republican have a 56% chance of keeping the Senate, while the Democrat have a 44% chance. In April 24, it was a 50-50%. Both parties had like a 50-50% chance. But as time went on, the Republicans started to edge the Democrats. So here, 56% to 44%, July 24th, 2026. April 24, 2026, they were dead even. Okay.
Republican chances now, we put it all together, they're at a 56% chance. But you know what? I would argue the biggest red flag that Democrats have, the biggest red flag, look at this. It's apathy, not believing that Democrats can change anything. Because the impacts of democratic policies on your cost of living, only 41% say help, hurt, or wouldn't change it. The clear majority, nearly 3 in 5, 59%. So look, these are all...
Dang. Impact of Democrat policy, only 41% say it helped and 59% say it hurt. Wow. So, in spite of the fact that we're in this war in Iran, the Democrats are still that unpopular. Whew. Dang.
All the red flags, if in fact Democrats can't take back control of either the House and or the Senate, and if Trump can stop them, this is what's going on. Folks, if you like what you heard, why don't you leave a comment? We'll see if we'll be able to delve into those issues next time around.
Wow. Okay. So RNC Research. So there's an account that goes by RNC Research. Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffrey justifying why the party is embracing socialist. The Democrat Party is not a cult of personality. We're a coalition of public servant, diversity of thought, perspective, and life experience. We are the big tent. They need to reject the extreme wing of the Democratic Party, which is the far left. Okay, I will end the stream in a couple minutes, so in a minute or two.
It is not affordable.
So Ben Shapiro, Reverend George Well is playing a clip of Ben Shapiro destroying the Medicare for All lie and exposes exactly why it will never work for people to join up. This is the part they don't want you to hear. So let's see.
The problem with Medicare for All is that when people say that it's affordable, this isn't affordable to the person who has the Medicare. It is not affordable to the country. In fact, it is so unaffordable to the country that the state of California was a nut job leftist state, just refused to even pass Medicare for All because it would have immediately doubled the debt. Just declaring things rights does not make them appear. What makes more things appear is a market-based system that creates more doctors, that creates more medical care, that creates more incentive for people to join up. It is better to treat things as goods than as rights, because declaring something a right just means that you have the right to steal it from me.
Okay, I'm ending the stream now.